Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, June 10th. This is Eric Rogers here with Julie Rowe, Scott Tash.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, today is Testimonial Friday. So what we're going to do today is we have a superstar with us. Now, he is going to give you some great advice. This is a gentleman, very driven, and this is something that we love to do here on Fridays. And before we get started, we've got some birthday shout outs to Lee Settle. Happy birthday this week. David Riddell. Happy birthday. Rebecca Wells. Happy birthday. Gisela Chavez. Happy birthday. So we had a busy week on the birthday trail this week. And this presentation is being recorded and will be posted on your YouTube channel. So you'll be able to check this out later. So what we like to do is, before we get started, just go over some house cleaning items before we get to Mr. Taylor. And one of those is, and let me see if I can't get this pulled up, on your training webpage, you'll notice you've got a member chat. So what this is brand new. So this is over here on the far right-hand corner, and you'll see member chat. Now what you'll do is select this. So what we want to do is make sure that you are getting questions answered in a very quick manner. Your NSD, we've got teams of 80, of 20, of 180. So we want to make sure that we are getting your answers to you extremely efficient. And that's what we're doing here. So you've got a sales chat. This is also like a community board where you can utilize this and other people can see these comments and topics. Okay, so sales. Tablet help, right? For those of you using your Android tablet, processing. Okay, that seems to be a big deal for our Rams in the field that are have files in process right now with Card Connect in underwriting, and then equipment chat. Okay, that's going to be a good one. So again, where did I get this? How did I get to this screen? Go to your merchantcareers.com training module site. Go to member chat. This is brand new. This was Sean Whitson did an awesome job with this, set it up yesterday. So we want to make sure everybody is aware of where this is. Now, without further ado, Julie, I want you to introduce the man of the hour, John Taylor.
Hi, John. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little low.
That's just our speaker. He sounds fine. Yeah, he sounds fine on there. Yep.
Well, good morning, John Taylor. How are you doing?
Doing super. Thanks a lot. I hope you guys are doing well. You all look great.
Yeah, we're here today. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little shy on the camera, so I feel like I gotta keep smiling. Anyway, so John Taylor, I have got a couple questions for you. And how is the weather first where you're at?
Well, it's awesome. I mean, it's summer is officially here. Virginia Beach is where I'm at, and it's just a beautiful day. A little windy today, but it's just that nice breeze. It's Virginia Beach. It's starting to be what Virginia Beach does. It's awesome. I'm looking at this picture. You guys, where did you find that old thing? But that was like, that was right after.
Found this on.
Right after.
It's amazing what you can find on the internet and Google, right? And my family used to vacation at Williamsburg, Virginia, and Virginia Beach every year. Yeah, Maria, same thing. Yeah, that is a great place to be in the summer, Virginia Beach.
You should have seen the other picture we found of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite comedians, he's passed away, but Mitch Hedberg, he said, isn't it funny when people want to show you a picture and they say, here's a picture of me when I was younger? Well, yeah, no kidding. Every picture is a picture of you when you were younger.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, good point.
That is a good point. All right, so I did have some questions for you, John. The first one is, I want to know what made you decide to join First Direct Financial?
It's probably a myriad of things, and it just kind of fell in my lap. I'm always looking for some way to leverage my abilities to help others. And when this came about, it looked like, wow, there's a whole bunch of different opportunities here. And, my wife she owns currently a couple of franchises, and we looked at the processing statements month after month after month, and two things were happening. About 10 people a week were calling us and asking us if they could come in and do our merchant processing for us, and they were like ants at a picnic, you know, just constantly doing that, and yet none of them would follow through with it. And secondly was, it got me to asking, well, how much are we really paying? And when I tried to decipher that, I couldn't, I really couldn't. And along came this opportunity with First Direct Financial, and I was like, wow, I'm going to learn this now. And that's really what got me going, and it got me interested in it. What made me really commit was clearly after I listened to a couple conference calls, talked with a couple people on the phone. But what really got me to commit was when I kind of decided to sneak on out there and take a flight from Virginia Beach to where you guys are in Scottsdale, and I walked in the building, and I wanted to see who you were. I wanted to make sure that this wasn't some call center that you're unplugging the phones and moving it to some other city in another week. And actually, I walked straight in and walked into Carrie's office and introduced myself. And that's how I got to know you guys. It was just if these guys are for real, then I'm going to see what they look like on a day-to-day basis. Yep. And I spent 3 days there. It wasn't like I just showed up. I hounded them for 3 days and got to know them really well, and came away understanding, after having built a business myself and helped others build thousands of businesses, I saw what the basic root ingredients that you look for in an operation that is not only going to be successful but knows it from the beginning.
You should see the new office now.
Yeah, we needed room because of you guys. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Invite me out. I'd like to come out there and see you.
You're always invited out, John.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about, let's see here. Got a few questions for you. All right, so we just got an account. So I want you to talk about how many visits.
Guys, you know, I got to interrupt you for a second here.
Okay.
Can we come back for a second? I've got the front door. Just a second.
Yeah. No worries. And just to bring this back in a circle here, John Taylor came by and made a visit, an office visit, unannounced. So for those of you that are in any way, do we have an office? You know, he was saying, is it a call center, etc. Just to put your mind at rest and save you, $1,000 on a round trip ticket and room and board. Right. This is something that he did, and he's out here selling, in Phoenix at the place he was staying. Remember that?
Yeah.
He came in. He was a firecracker. So. Yeah. We had a gentleman from Texas. So
Jay. No,
yeah.
Well, Jay's. They start with Jay. Jay came in.
Yeah.
Texas.
So and this is something that John's very, very humble. But folks, this is a gentleman for his age group, Olympic trials for wrestling. This is why we've got him on the wrestling mat right here. This is where I found this photograph. So, and he's being again modest because, when we met him, he looks the exact same. I don't say, there's doesn't age. So, and let's go ahead while we've got a moment here, maybe, to go ahead and get to a question or two. I noticed that Eva Miles, I think Eva is a Ram in Hollywood, who has actually talked to John. They like to talk, and this is where that community board setup, that member chat that you see on your merchant training portal, will bring you all together. Okay, so Sharon Brown, I think she had on a sample proposal under the gateway for Card Connect, it has some fees that are not on the statement side. Now, Shannon, watch Tuesday's presentation. You've got one rate pricing versus interchange optimization and interchange plus pricing. So make sure, Sharon, that'll knock it out. This weekend, do your homework. Go watch that 30-minute presentation on Tuesday and I explain that, or contact your national sales director and they can get on the phone with you. So yeah, this is something Joe Rivard mentioned. We can do a virtual tour, believe me. If we can do that, Sean Whitson can figure that out in about 5 minutes. So while we're waiting, John, are you back now?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
back. I apologize for that. We have some work going on at our house, and my wife ordered the workers' pizza for dinner, and so the pizza guy has to deliver. You know, that's exactly what happened. I apologize for having to leave.
Man, that's making me hungry. All right.
You didn't have breakfast out here yet.
I know. Is that dinner or supper?
Lunch. Yeah, lunch. But go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and get some questions shot here at John.
Okay, John, I want to talk about the Italian bakery. And my question about it is, how many visits did it take to land that account or that merchant?
You know, this is kind of going to be the norm, I think. That one there, well, I will be going back for my 17th visit when I do the connection for it. So it took me 16 visits to sign up. And quite frankly, it's been worth every moment of that, because not only have I been able to help them get huge savings in their credit card processing, but I've gained new friends in their family.
Did you gain weight going to the Italian thing? Did you eat each time you went in there?
No, you don't have to.
It's not good for your training.
Not till after next fall, right?
There are some things I'm allowed to eat in there. It's one of those restaurants that was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Mary is good friends with them, and so they do have some stuff that you really just have to just be very disciplined when you go in there. If you're not going to eat everything. And so not only did I get good friends, but it turns out, and this is an example of why you don't badmouth your competition ever. For first reason, you're telling the owner of the business that they were stupid in their decision, and that's a terrible thing to imply.
Mm-hmm.
And the second reason, this is a good one here, after I'm done with this whole thing now, and we're good friends, and we're getting really down to swapping recipes and all that stuff, it turns out that not only is her accountant CPA my next door neighbor, I had no clue, and we share a same fence, but the person who was her agent for 8 years lives in my neighborhood, and I had no idea he was even in this business.
Wow.
So you just never know. You have far too much time on your hands that you could be spent edifying and building people up. You don't have enough time to be wasted on breaking anyone down.
Mm-hmm.
Good words. Good
Yeah.
words.
And that's how many times I had to go there. We're in underwriting now. I would imagine pretty soon it's going to come through. The last one I did, the one at Eddie's, that restaurant, Julie, I don't know, that'd take like 5 days, something like that, 4 days?
I would say 5. I think we did the application on Monday, and it was approved on Wednesday. They've got doing a reprogram, and I was going to ask you, John, are you going to activate that today?
Yeah, that's I'm going in. I'm waiting until you guys are laughing. I missed the joke.
They're laughing at me.
They're laughing at. Yeah, here we are. Have you done it yet? Are you there yet?
I think Thursday afternoon, right?
And the real answer is yes, because Julie's going to kick my tail if I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on it.
That's right. But, yeah, I want to make sure that I'm done. I wait until their last auto batch from their previous.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important too. I'm glad you brought that up, John. So when you guys do get your accounts, you want to make sure that they batch out of their old processor, their old terminal, because if they don't, they'll have to hook it back up and then batch out. And that's happened to a merchant where we got their new equipment all set up and they're ready to process, and they had money in the old machine, so they had to hook it back up and batch out. So real important. Thanks, John.
And so we have, and how did I know to do that? By talking to Julie. I mean, I don't know anything about this business. I just know that I'm going to be successful wildly at it. But I do know that it takes a team to do that. You can't do anything on your own. So Julie and I talk, and that's another thing I'd like to emphasize is for my fellow Rams that are out there, I've talked to several of you, many of you on the phone, and I have no problem doing that whatsoever if I can be of assistance. But don't lose the sight of the fact that your national sales director is just a wealth of knowledge. And why do you think they have meetings in the morning? I mean, they share information. So not only will you learn from things that they have learned, but you sharing daily or every other day with your national sales director helps us as a team, because that stuff goes around the table and then it gets multiplied through dissemination from their meetings. And again, another sign of a great company.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, let's go to one more question here. Let's see.
This will apply to Buck.
Okay, so my question is, how do you bring up First Direct Financial card processing to your potential merchant? What is your opener?
Wow, you know, it's kind of interesting because the way you do this is a step-by-step, lockstep. There's steps you have to go through, and if you do them every time, it's going to work. But the approach is different probably every time, and that's only because you don't get to vote. Only your client gets to vote on how they want to be treated. So if I could generalize it, is I first go into a place I've never tried. Try this. It's really fun to do. Go into a place you've never been before. Do not take anything with you, and just say, hey, you know, I come by this place all the time, and I've never come in here. I've got a couple of appointments. I got to be down the road here in the next couple hours. I'm killing some time. What are you guys doing here? And just let them tell you what they do, and then say, you know, I got to run, but can I get the owner's business card? I'd like to learn more about that. And that's it. There's no pressure on you. You're not selling anything. If you're afraid to go in and do that, then you should be afraid to go in and buy. I mean, you're not even trying to do anything your first stop. Your first stop is, to me, you ask me what I do, is to find out about these people. This is all about finding out about the business. It's not about you selling anything. It's about finding out what their symptoms are, and maybe you have the medicine they're looking for.
John,
and that's kind of how.
John, this is Scott. Do you find that very much similar in business as it is in sports? You check everything out and look at what it's going to be like before you step out there and take on someone?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. One of the most important things that I do in my preparation for a competition, and what I teach those that I coach, is whatever it is that you're doing, try to make sure that your first time isn't your first time.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, you go into, let's say that you're going to be competing at the World Championships, and it's in Athens, Greece, and they're using the same venue that they used in the 2004 Olympics, and it's pretty intimidating. And so the night before, I went in there, my team, my training partner and I, we went in, we walked the floor, we walked up in the stands, we watched them build the place, we watched them roll the mats out. That's an advantage, because the next time when you come in, you're going to compete, and you've already been there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not intimidating. And so the first time that you go into a place, and your goal is to get steps A through Z done, it's intimidating. You're going to be intimidated. Go in there and make sure when you come in for the first time that it matters, it's not the first time you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually tell everyone on my team about you, John, because I love that approach. You're showing interest in their business, and you let them talk. People like to talk about what they do. And, you know, he says, can I get your business card? And then he leaves, and then he does another visit, and he has another talk. And then I believe they ask you what you do. Is that correct?
Well, typically what they'll ask me is, what do you do? And I really haven't even indicated that I have a business yet. But what they'll, when I ask for a business card, what do you think 9 out of 10 times the answer is going to be? Oh yeah, here it is. Can I get one of yours? And that gives me the excuse to come back. I'll say, you know what? They're out in the car right now, and I got to fly by. How about I come by tomorrow and I'll drop one off?
That's awesome.
I love it, John.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. And I hope that everybody's listening. We get this asked a lot. They're like, well, what do I do? When I go into a merchant, they're intimidated. They're scared. So, I mean, just listen to what John is telling you. He's being very successful, and you too can do it. You just need to kind of take the advice from John and come up with your own style, but go in and meet these merchants. Don't give them the business card. Don't come in with brochures and look like you're trying to sell something quickly. You know, he builds a relationship with these merchants.
Find out who the players are.
Exactly. So my next question, John, is just really kind of talking about what you were just talking about, the difference between fear and being afraid.
Well, that's huge. And that's where everybody, I hope everybody listens to this. We grow up as kids, all of us, and until about 6 years old, we're going to be a brain surgeon, astronaut, president. We can do anything. We believe in ourselves, and then we go to school, and we get told, well, you really can't do this, and you really can't do that, and we get knocked down. And that's just life. And you fall down, you skin your knees. Well, you know, you find out you can't really ride that bike as quickly as you thought. That's what the book I've written, it's called The Age of Bliss. And when you're in that age of bliss, like I said, we all can harken back and remember those days when we were unstoppable. Well, I think I'm a little fortunate because I never left that area. I don't know why. I'm still a kid. And I'm just, that age of bliss never got beat out of me. And so, but you can recapture that. And it's simply by understanding the difference between a healthy thing called fear and an unhealthy thing or a state being called afraid. They're two different things. Fear is very important. If you didn't have fear, you'd walk off the first cliff you came to. You know, if fear wasn't important, you touch the hot stove. It doesn't matter. You wouldn't get it. So fear is important. But being afraid of something is debilitating. That's immobilizing. So what I suggest you do is, well, one other point I'd like to make is that if you were to go to a physiology laboratory and they sit you down, they hook you up with all sorts of sensors, kind of like a lie detector on steroids, and you could be mobile, and you would, when you experience fear, debilitating, afraid feeling, that, what's that, when you get up in front of people and want to talk, and you get that
Right.
that anxiety, you know, well, you can describe that. Your palms sweat, your heart races, you get a little lightheaded, you have no appetite, you know. But the funny part is, if you were to be wired up with the same equipment and experienced excitement, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They both have the same symptoms, the same outward appearance, the same thing. The difference between having anxiety or being excited about something is what you tell yourself about the feedback. And Scott, you've said that many times. It's in your head.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we tell ourselves. So
we call that head trash.
Yeah.
So when you are facing a situation that you have fear of, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. What you want to do, though, is take those feelings of anxiety and ask yourself, why am I not excited? It's the same emotion. It's the same exact feeling. Well, usually it's because there's some unknowns in there. I mean, clearly on your birthday, the eve before Christmas or your birthday, you are excited because you've experienced what happens tomorrow. Okay, you've had validation for that feeling, so it gets linked to the joy. And I'm a big fan of mental anchoring. But if you, on the other side, did the same feelings have been linked to an unpleasant experience, and that you've learned to label that anxiety. But it's all in your mind. You can take that same feeling, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but it's the feedback that you allow your outward body to give back to your brain that tells you whether what you're interpreting as fear and anxiety, I mean not fear, but anxiety or excitement. And so get up in the morning and find something that you're going to do today that's going to move you down your goal path a little bit that you can do no matter what, upside down. For example, today, this weekend, make 3 folders up. Get some little white labels on there, like little name tag labels, put them on there, and go and write the name of the 3 companies, 3 businesses that next week you're going to go into. You've already got their folders made up, and it's for them, okay? Sometime this weekend, go in those businesses and do a little exploratory. You know, find out so that next week, when you go in there, you have this ready for them, and bring it with you. Don't have to take it in. That's theirs. This is their first step to success in the card processing improvement that you're going to bring to their business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm always thinking of things like that. I don't know. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but just don't let that healthy feeling of fear be misinterpreted as anxiety and being afraid, because it's 2 different things.
Wow, John.
John, I had a coach one time that told me to challenge what you fear most daily, and you'll get over it.
Yep.
Absolutely, and you know, we know that to be true. Simple things. If the first time you tried as a child to get up and walk and fell down and scraped your nose, if you quit, then man would never have walked. Okay, you can, and that's why Eric has a flat nose, by the way, because he did not give up.
Absolutely.
John, you know what's funny is that I was so intrigued listening to your stories. It's already half an hour past. I wanted to ask one more question, and then we want to answer some questions from the attendees, the other fellow Rams out there. And I want to point this out because I think, John, you were the one asking me. You said that you had asked a question, and Eric didn't answer it. So what happens is we have a lot of questions, and we can't answer them all. So we try to, but, you know, sometimes you're going to have to call your national sales director and get that question answered that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last question, John, is how do you handle rejection?
You know what? I think I have a huge advantage in that area because I grew up short, little, and I got rejected all the time. So I grew up, it was no big deal. It was all part of that deal. I mean, I had asked 10, 12 girls to dance before I ever got one. You know, it was just part of the deal. And it didn't bother me. It was just, if you wanted to dance, that's the price you're going to pay today. If you don't want to dance, don't go to the dance. You know, that kind of stuff. But, so how do I handle rejection? I honestly don't feel any rejection ever. How can you feel rejected when what you're trying to do is helping someone? They're rejecting themselves. They're not rejecting you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
If you truly have something that you know, I mean, this isn't even a guess, maybe. We know we're going to save them money, period. End of story, we know that. I mean, unless I'm wrong, I don't think we've given out very many $1,000 bills, have we? I know I haven't.
Not one.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel that they're pushing me away, I'm almost of the opinion that I'm not rejected. I'm almost of the, well, I kind of feel this way. I take it personally that I must not be doing my job right, because how could they be so blind? So it's my responsibility to put it in a way that they see it. And the way you do that is find out what matters to them. It doesn't matter what matters to you. Scott, you were in the car business for a long time. I'm sure you saw some cars out on the lot with colors that you in no way could imagine anybody would ever want that. And yet, there was significant numbers of people who wanted that car that they made a batch of those cars. So it's not about the salesperson. It's about the person and what they want.
Yeah.
we don't get to vote.
Color that Scott is wearing today. I would never believe anyone would purchase that shirt, but you know, this is nice that we've got a camera so you guys can actually see.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, I didn't know I'm gonna be on
It's
camera
casual
today,
Friday
so
here.
now I'm gonna have to do my makeup and my hair real nice and look pretty for
Yeah.
you guys on Fridays if I come on again.
I do that every
I know,
morning.
I'm not
Yes, he does.
I'm not gonna
He's
do
so
Fridays
vain.
anymore.
He's so vain.
So
To say
does anybody have questions out there for John before we end the show here?
You know, I'm seeing a lot of comments here that are great. Mike Wolfgang wants to say, John Taylor, thank you so much. Eva Miles, I think, is one of your biggest fans. So I feel a little jealous as her NSD here. But Eva has really, John Taylor, you have literally helped other Rams produce. You know, Mike Hodson, same thing. We've got the Wolfman, Mike Wolfgang here today. You know, that absolutely, Kurt McMinn, you know, this guy, Kurt's out there killing it in Southern California. And this is something that, you know, you come across a couple that you know, this was an example today, guys. John Taylor is a seasoned salesperson, and it took him 17 trips, closed it on 16 for a restaurant, and it's going to be a real nice deal. Now, normally that it doesn't take, you know, necessarily that many times, but remember, we train you. It takes three visits, contacts,
Just to get him comfortable with it.
yeah, just to get that comfort level. So Kenny Young, thank you so much. We really don't have any questions, which is probably a good thing. So again, Sharon Brown, make sure you're contacting your NSD on the difference between one rate pricing and interchange plus pricing. And Tuesday it is explained. So make sure you're checking that recording out as well on the live recording. So we do that pretty much every Tuesday. That's a good one that everyone needs to know.
Absolutely.
So we hear that question. So let's do this, guys. We're going to wrap this up. John Taylor, any last words of wisdom for anybody? Take us to the close.
You know, this is, to me, it's personal in one way. I know that I have something that's going to help others, and that's my wheelhouse. That makes me happy every moment of the day when I know I'm helping. And I just want you all to go out and remember that every one of these small businesses in particular, they have families too. They have costs and expenses. They have dreams. They have children to send to school. They have braces to buy for their kids. They have a car that needs a tune-up. They're no different than we are. They're just running businesses. And if you can help them along that path, then how can you not be happy doing this? I mean, I think, and that's how I feel about it. And I do have one final comment that of Scott. I looked there, and you're a little bit farther away, but I swear when I was a kid growing up, we had wallpaper look just like that shirt.
Thanks, John. Hey, you know, one of the best things is when you look at the beginning, when we start everybody out, we talk about what motivates people, and cause is the top motivator. And John, you have found your cause, and that is to help share and pass along, you know, savings and a true belief. And so you believe in the product, you believe in your service, you're gonna, and you believe in yourself. So those are all things that you have to have. And if you just go back, you guys, and review that 7 keys to success, you'll find that you can have it all too.
Yeah, yeah, and thank you
I'm
very
looking
much.
at the picture, and he looks like he's a midget.
he's hiding. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You should have sat closer to the
There
table.
he is. There he is.
All right, you guys. It was so much fun. John, thank you again for coming on. Again, I talk about you all the time, John, and everybody has great comments. There was lots of people thanking you today. We didn't get to all their comments that they've learned something from you today that they needed to hear, and you really helped everybody. So thanks again for coming on, John.
Love Friday.
Yep, love Fridays. Thank you, guys. We'll get this recording configured. It's going to get posted on a couple locations, including your training module under Friday live training. So there is a recording under that live training tab. Thank you very much. Utilize that new community board, that new members chat tab as well. That's all the way to the right-hand side. go ahead and just select that tab, and I think it's a great add-on to the training
And
site.
the YouTube channel, if you Google Merchant Careers channel,
Mhm.
all the Friday testimonials that we've done are posted
Lately.
there. So
Yeah.
if you want to go back, or you missed a Friday testimonial and that you didn't get to watch it on Merchant Careers training website because we record over those, you can go
Mhm.
back and watch the ones that we did previously. They're not all there, but most of them are
Most
there.
of them are there. Yeah, that's a good archive location.
Yeah, I
You
don't
bet.
think John came on in January. I don't think that one's on there.
Yeah.
But so
yeah.
thank God you came back on. Now we got you.
Yep. Yep. Again, John Taylor, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And guys, have a good weekend. Be safe. Remember, keep your head on a swivel. There's opportunities all throughout the weekend. Wherever you step outside your door, or even some online research, you can, anybody that takes Visa, MasterCard, Discover is a prospect. They're there. You can go ahead and just be comfortable and confident that we know we're gonna keep up our end. You are a big part, the Rams, of this equation. You guys are really a big part of this. So if you need any assistance, get a hold of us. Eva, we're never tired of hearing from you. I saw that comment in there ever. So I get what would scare me is if we don't hear from you. That's when it gets scary. So utilize us. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you next Monday. Same place, same time. Thank you very much.